Hello, everybody. This is the Anime Bro here, and welcome to another episode of the Radio Trigger Podcast. I'm with only one of my co-hosts, Tensashinra.
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah. Lion's not here. Although we want him to be here because this is a big episode. This episode's about the tribute is a tribute to Akira Toriyama, who passed away. The beginning of March. It's a very sad moment. I know we're a bit late, but it's better late than never. And
Yeah.
he was a legend. And although I haven't personally grown up with Dragon Ball, I know a lot of works that were based off of him, both video games and also manga and anime. And this is just a tribute to him. He was a legend. He was a GOAT. And it would be very hard to see another person like him. I mean, Oda's up there, but he's not there yet.
For sure. Yeah. No, I definitely think this episode is probably something that's needed because, I really do feel like just he changed the world. I made a tweet about it around the time it happened. I feel like his works really did just transcend just being anime and manga. Really did impact a lot of people and inspire people beyond just the story. And I feel like for someone like that, you really just gotta, I don't know, give them their respects.
Yeah, especially this guy, many things we take for granted, new transformations of different characters, or even people just getting stronger for certain reasons, or people being like prodigies and stuff. We take that for granted, but Dragon Ball was the one that got people interested in all that stuff. And everyone makes the funny joke, oh, Goku's gonna transform into another Super Saiyan and stuff. But when he started it was pretty amazing. Let's put it this way: we wouldn't have Super Sonic from from Sonic without the Super Saiyan.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people can say whatever they want about it, but at the end of the day, there's no doubt, because I know a lot of people, they'll sit there and they'll see a series that's inspired by another and they'll say, oh yeah, I don't have to like this series that inspired the one that I like or something like that. But I feel like at the end of the day, you do still have to respect it at very least, because there's a lot of things that, for example, came from Dragon Ball, and I know a lot of people might not like it the most or anything like that, but it's we wouldn't have a lot of the legendary stuff that we have now, One Piece, like you said. It's just this grand story. But one of the main people that inspired him was Akira Toriyama. So
Especially also with you and Bleach, you like Bleach, it's your favorite anime manga, but we wouldn't have Bleach without Dragon Ball. Kubo has said that one of his inspirations was Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And even though they're totally different stories, you gotta respect it that without Akira Toriyama, we wouldn't even have this generation of anime and manga, both YouTube and in general. Because you got the My Hero Academia fan base. They were inspired by Oda, which he himself was inspired by Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, definitely. We wouldn't have a whole lot, and even when you think of the things that I inspired, like I said when I was talking to you before, it's just the even things that it inspired other things. So for example, Bleach. I know Bleach, it inspired a lot of the new gen anime or whatever, like Jujutsu Kaisen and all the other supernatural ones. We wouldn't have those obviously if Bleach didn't exist. We wouldn't have the Bleach if Dragon Ball didn't exist. So it's kind of like this ladder where it basically inspired so many things, even things that are completely unrelated to it. You would be surprised that they all come back to Dragon Ball for inspiration.
Yeah, and also I know many people say why would you put Dragon Ball in the big three? Well, I saw a creator and he actually put it a creative way. Why would you lump Dragon Ball lower to the big three? Because without Dragon Ball, there wouldn't be a big three.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
we all complain like, oh, Naruto's stronger or Ichigo's stronger or Luffy's getting there as to be like stronger or which one show is better, but you gotta pay respects to the guy who made it possible for not just like them to exist, but for like manga to exist or anime to exist in the West. Because before Dragon Ball, no one knew anime was a thing. Like, not gonna lie.
Yeah, nah, Dragon Ball. I heard another person say it like this. Dragon Ball was really like the first anime that I feel like everybody watched that was like acceptable to socially acceptable to watch and stuff. Because I know, like, I've never experienced it personally where like I was just like I was looked at weird for watching anime in school or whatever. But I do know people who say that they were who actually experienced that, and it's like Dragon Ball was really the first one that it didn't matter who you were or how you felt about anime. Like it just everybody watched it, everybody agreed that it was good, and I feel like it really did just start the spread of like I don't know anime into like I don't know the mainstream. I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah. And also, like, you can't like the biggest like debate out of all of anime isn't like Saitama versus everyone, even though that's really high. It's Superman versus Goku. That's
Yeah.
that's something like, and it's not really because they're very powerful, although that's mainly one of the reasons. Is because they themselves are iconic themselves. Without Superman, there wouldn't be superheroes, and to us in the West, without Goku, there wouldn't be a Monkey D. Luffy. There wouldn't be a Naruto. There wouldn't be an Ichigo.
Yeah.
These things would have been hidden from us for maybe even to this day if it wasn't for Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And then like I said before, even it's crazy, that his influence is crazy when he was even influencing people of like his own generation. Like I know a lot of people will sit there and say, "Oh yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho was like airing at the same time. It's really good." And it is really good, but like even him, you know what I'm saying, for someone who was like airing and like made a manga in the same generation, that he was inspired by Toriyama. I remember his exact words. He was basically saying that to him, Toriyama is like an existence that he can only hope to get close to. And honestly, I feel like that's a crazy thing to say, especially when it's about somebody from basically the same generation as you. Like I said, it'd be like saying it. It would be like Akutami saying that Horikoshi is like I don't know, like a god to him, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Akira didn't inspire everyone, but he is a big influence in not just anime, but also in just like creative in like the entertainment field in general. There,
Yeah.
like especially if you've been on Twitter since his passing, you saw a lot of people, and I don't even just mean like companies. I mean people actually saying, thank you, Akira Toriyama. And that is something I'm glad it is. It's not like rest in peace. It's thank you, because he was like he has his inspirations. Like he didn't start anime or manga, but
Yeah.
he was the one. He's the legend that everyone remembers, and a lot of people grew up with, and especially since it was a big surprise that he passed. It always is really hard when you have to talk about it, and especially like because I was reading a recent chapter in Dragon Ball Super, and instead of doing a story, all they did was letters from many mangakas that were inspired. The big three were there, so Kubo wrote his piece, the guy from Naruto, Oda, also wrote his piece, and a lot of others. But the interesting thing is that most of them mentioned him as a Toyama Sensei.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting that they saw him as a teacher, even though they probably personally never met the guy. They saw him as a teacher, and they even said like one of the saddest moments in their lives was when Dragon Ball was finished, and it puts it in a perspective that like these are big names, people who we always talk about like which one's better and stuff, and these people are respecting this man, the man who created definitely, I would say now, one of the hated anime fan bases. But that's not his fault. That's the people in there. So, you know, we don't have to.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't blame this guy for doing it. It's just his fans need to chill out.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I do think like, one thing that I saw on Twitter, actually, Doofy was talking about. I think he mentioned on Twitter that like, it's kind of sad to see like how much animosity exists between like the fan bases, like particularly within like the Dragon Ball fan base, because like when you look at Dragon Ball, it's like it's not a series that, I don't know, that promotes hate or anything like that. Like obviously there's bad guys in it and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
like in terms of the theme and the central characters, like it's all about like, I don't know, nothing. It's pretty much the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Being positive and, you know, true to yourself and stuff like that. So I really don't know where all the negativity comes from. I think that's just a result of, I don't know, the just anime fan base becoming what it is just in general,
Yeah.
or maybe just, I don't know, Twitter as well, maybe, because I know that that's a place where a lot of negative stuff comes from, or most of the negative stuff. But I mean, I feel like regardless of, even if like just regardless of the fan base, it's just like he really created like an incredible, because there, that is a sour part of the community obviously, but I feel like most of the people that are part of it are chill or whatever, kind of.
Yeah.
I'd like to think,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think I don't think that it's the whole fan base, and I'm glad that like a lot of them could come together for his passing, whatever. And one thing I saw a lot of people saying is that like he will live on through his works, which I really like that saying, because in the sense of like everything he's done, like I guess, like yes, it's sad or whatever, but I don't feel like as sad as I think like Kubo's letter is what I relate to the most, because he I think he said the same thing, where he's like, yeah, it's sad, but I'm not as sad as I thought, just because I know his legacy and everything he left behind is just like, I don't know, it makes me feel basically more positive and
Yeah.
more sound of the fact that he passed away or whatever, and that he's gonna basically be remembered by everything he did. And like yeah, I just feel like it's, I don't know, it's sad, but you know, it's
He,
not that sad.
yeah, he definitely will never be forgotten. That's definitely one thing.
Yeah,
And it's like I don't know who said this quote, but they said a true man doesn't die until he's forgotten. And
yeah,
for sure, Akira's never gonna be forgotten, because
yeah.
you know that man who, that monkey man who met that blue girl to find the Dragon Balls, who met a pervert, who met gods, who met an angry pink thing,
Yeah,
and who's trying to become the strongest he is, will still be remembered by everyone. Everyone knows Goku. Even if you've never heard of an anime before, you know who Goku is. Like, it's very impossible to go through life without knowing like drag anything from Dragon Ball, really. Like, it's one of those
yeah.
series that is spoiled to death.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Like I don't think it's possible, especially like now, to get. I mean, maybe if you've never heard of it, I guess, and just don't have internet access. But it's pretty hard to get into
I
Dragon Ball
mean,
without being spoiled.
this thing was on before Twitter,
Yeah,
and people were talking about it like I saw. Even if you didn't have internet access, I think you would still know something about Dragon Ball.
true. Yeah, no, you'd probably come across it somewhere. Maybe you could just come across a random poster like Super Saiyan Goku on the side of some, like, I don't know, some single owned shop or whatever. But you know, I think that I think that Akira definitely remembered through his works. One interesting thing that I know is about that quote you said about like a person never will be remembered through their work or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, I think I saw on Twitter where uh I'm not sure if the Naruto creator did this, but both like the One Piece creator and the Bleach creator did something similar in their story. I know it was with Chopper's backstory, with his doctor, I think, or
yeah,
whatever, where he basically has this quote where a man dies when he's forgotten, and then the same thing. I think it was with Rukia's backstory, where like he says basically when a person dies, they leave their heart and everything they did with their friends. I feel like
Yeah.
even that is something that like these creators come together on, and I feel like even that is probably something that stems from Dragon Ball. I probably couldn't tell you where it stems from, but like I feel like these guys were just so heavily inspired by Dragon Ball that they have some key points in even their own series that are so similar to each other.
Yeah. Too bad the real world is not like Dragon Ball. Because I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people will agree, death doesn't mean anything in Dragon Ball. And if we were in Dragon Ball, even if Akira died, he could still be right here with his hoop on his head, creating manga,
Yeah.
expanding his world. But sadly, we're not in Dragon Ball in the Dragon Ball world. Well, actually, kind of good thing because
Yeah, the
having
Earth
our
would always be in trouble.
yeah all those threats, I don't think we're gonna be that good. But
Yeah, no. Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like at very least like I found like Oda's message really sweet because like he basically said like I hope that like heaven is as great a place as you envision it in your series. And it's like even with something like that, like I don't know, just the works he created set like puts us at ease even though he passed away. Like it's it's something small, but like he had such an impact even in terms of his series and stuff like that.
yeah,
I don't know. You're just like, it's like I said, it's not as you're not as impacted by it. Like you're just happy that he'll be remembered for his works. Like even I think in the tweet that I made or whatever, I was like, it's incredible that like you basically hear about people wanting to change the world every single day. I know that's Mr. Beast's thing. He wants to change the world. Like that was his bio on one of his social medias, and then you have other people, but like Akira really did do it through just like through a story. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That's what's crazy to me.
yeah. And obviously, Dragon Ball wasn't his first story. He had many successful stories and like many successful one shots, but Dragon
Yeah.
Ball was the one that everyone liked. It was the thing that everyone, and I guess it in a way it's like everyone could relate to Goku. Everyone has that goal that they want to reach, and even though they themselves, I guess it's like a kind of like a metaphor. Like even though you are a mortal, even a mere mortal can rival gods and people who could destroy multiverses, and that was Akira. He's just a mere human, but he managed to do what a lot of people hope to, well, will try to do, which is to be like to have people enjoy his stories and to actually like not be forgotten, because
Hmm.
like it's really impossible to like it's really hard to explain it really, because there really hasn't been a person like Akira. like
Yeah.
like I said in the beginning, like Oda's there, is he's up there, but even him can't really come to the magnitude that Dragon Ball has. Like Dragon Ball has like so much like things going on. Everyone like honestly, the true haters are the people who haven't watched it, aka
Yeah.
Lion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm even getting into it, and I'm even starting to like it too. So, you know, it's
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have to hate on it, but think of it like this: they haven't really watched it. They're just going based off of the many spoilers, and if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're not spoiling the boring stuff. You're spoiling the epic moment when he turned Super Saiyan, or when he yelled for a bit and turned Super Saiyan 3, or when he had Ultra Instinct, and those are the amazing moments that everyone talks about. But to people who haven't watched it, it just seems like, okay, so this guy gets power-ups. That's it.
Yeah. Nah, I think Lions watched it. I just to give him a little credit,
Yeah.
but I feel like his thing is mostly that he didn't really like it as much as I guess a lot of other people do, which I guess yeah, people are entitled to their opinion, but I don't know. I feel like at the same time they probably just aren't really. I don't know, because Dragon Ball is one of those. I think it's really the first example of a series where, yeah, it basically has like a surface level to it, and then it has like a deeper level. Like obviously you have like One Piece. The main thing is that Luffy wants to be the Pirate King, and then obviously there's all these crazy fights. But then you get to the deeper part of it, and then it's all this like basically all the like the political stuff, and then the oppression and everything, and the freedom aspects of it. And then
Yeah.
like same thing kind of for Naruto, him just wanting to be the Hokage. And there's fights, but then there's also themes in that as well and other stuff. But with Dragon Ball, I feel like that's really the first one that like really set off that trend because or maybe it is. I'm not so sure, obviously, because I don't know about the history of anime or anything. But
Yeah.
it is the obviously the first big one that got everywhere because like I feel like it. Even if you're into it for like the hype fights and stuff like that, like there is other things to it. Like I know you said you're currently watching the original Dragon Ball or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that was a lot more like story based, and even Z is has some story to it. But like I said, just because the fights are really good, or like you said, because the fights are really good, people don't really pay attention to anything else. But like it is pretty deep. Like even though like you might see some people say like there's no stakes because they have the Dragon Balls and like all that extra stuff. There is like some pretty deep moments, and I think that I don't know. It's a really good story. Like you really have to consider that like all this whole world was built, and everything, and that takes skill. It's not
Yeah.
just buff guys fighting that helps world building. Like he didn't just like the fights didn't just carry him all the way to Namek and help him create all the lore for all the like different places that they've been and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like like a prototype One Piece, if that makes any sense in terms of one building, like or world building. Like they just everything that he's built, like it took effort, right? And like he
I
has
guess it's
like
a science fiction One Piece because there's a lot more advanced technology than in One Piece.
yeah, exactly. But people don't really consider that. Like there's future travel and then there's spaceships and everything, and like even when you consider the story, like obviously the structure of like certain arcs, like future stories are pretty tough to tell. But when you look at the Cell arc and everything he did with Future Trunks, that was like done really well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a really good storyteller as well. People just don't really pay attention to the fine details, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I mean, we're all Neanderthals. We're like, oh, this guy has yellow hair. Oh, this guy has blue hair. This guy has silver hair. Holy crap.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
like the
no.
visuals.
Agreed. Yeah, nah, for sure. That's one thing we can all agree on is that the fights are good, if nothing else. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's another reason I feel like just everybody was into it because, like the fights, I feel like it doesn't matter like who you were, like you would agree that they were good and stuff, and like they like the flashy stuff. Like the non-anime fans like the flashy stuff just as much as we did. So
Yeah.
that's another big thing.
Yeah. All and also just like when you look at all the power ups and stuff, you do see that in like the big three. Like many people don't know this, but Gear 2 was Kaioken. That was One Piece's Kaioken.
Yeah.
And like, and if I gotta give like One Piece, I mean, sorry, not One Piece. Sorry, Oda's still alive.
Yeah.
If I can give Dragon Ball a leeway, I'm sorry about that. Someone's going across the road in front of my door. They got Chi pretty well. I will say this: Chi is not some like it's not Ration from Bleach where you have to have crazy amounts, or even chakra from Naruto, or even hockey from One Piece. It's
Yeah.
something that everyone can learn, and it's like even flying a human can do. And I'm thinking, wow, why hasn't anyone done this? This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, nah, it's really like a really cool system. Like in terms of power, I feel like it's simple and it just works. Like it's like I feel like a lot of the things you look at, like a lot of the power systems, like other people just try to like overcomplicate them. Like I know for like men, for example, like that has a lot of layers to it that I'm not even gonna start to get on. And then there's like things like hockey, which it is simple, but like it's complicated at the same time. There's
Yeah,
just
and also no one can.
different
Not
layers.
everyone has hockey.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, cause like within One Piece, it's like that's only like one of the couple power systems that there are. If you want to consider devil fruits and also
Yeah,
like this legendary swords or whatever. So
yeah,
like there is like a lot going on in One Piece. Like
yeah,
and then like I know for like same kind of thing applies to like chakra and bleach and all that extra stuff. It's just like they make it very complicated, but I feel like with ki or chi, whichever one you want to say,
yeah,
it's just like you said, it's something that everybody can use universally. It doesn't it's not different one person between one person and another unless you're talking about like god chi or whatever.
okay,
But
yeah, but honestly,
yeah, but
that's
even
kind of when they broke chi. It's like, come on, dude, you had
exactly.
it right. What the heck? Why you adding God chi into this thing?
Exactly. But even then, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I only say it's a bad thing because not everybody has it, like you said.
Yeah,
But they can learn it if they wanted to. But so that is a good thing to it,
yeah,
I guess. But yeah, no, I think I really do like how it's just simple. Everybody can use it. It's that everybody can improve upon it and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, you hear that, creators? Don't make your things complicated. Make them simple. Make them chi. Everyone can use chi. No, let's put it this way. Everyone has chi.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
might
no.
not have God chi, but everyone has it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I really do like that, and like I don't know, I feel like in their own way, I guess maybe they overcomplicate it just because I don't know they want to expand upon the inspirations that were given to them, but
Yeah,
I don't know, it's for sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know, but
yeah. Sometimes it's just better to just keep it simple, because, like, if you make it too complicated, then it's like, why should I get into it?
yeah,
Like, let's put like One Piece, for example. Like, it's very simple, but then also it's also kind of not, because it's like you got devil fruits, but if you have hockey, that beats devil fruits. So what's the point of having a devil fruit?
exactly. And then there's also like if you have hockey and the devil fruit,
Oh, you're
then
overpowered right there.
exactly. And then don't even get me started on like the black swords or whatever. Apparently,
Yeah,
like if you use your hockey enough or you're good enough swordsman, then your sword turns black, and it's like
yeah.
makes that like kicks it up a whole grade or whatever. And
Yes, it
I,
is.
yeah, no, it can get pretty confusing, but
It's,
yeah, no. And that's not even talking about like the advanced variations of the hockey.
yeah. It's like, first, now you have armor. Oh, now you can hit the guy without touching him.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
It's like, oh, you can sense everything. Oh, now you can see the future.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I
a
mean,
conqueror. Oh, now you can add it to your armor. It goes crazy.
yeah, no, it does get pretty crazy. But I don't know. I do think it's pretty cool how they try to expand upon it. But I don't know. It just
Even
depends
devil
how they.
fruits too. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, look, you got this cool ability. Oh, now it's awakened.
Yeah, that too. Like, and there's so many like, and awakenings can be different depending on which one you have.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, no, it's all over the place. But I do think it's pretty cool that they at least try to, I don't know, innovate with it instead of keeping it the same.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that.
the one I do think, like, I think out of all of them, I do wonder why Bleach has so many, because it's like, and I'm not saying like Bleach is like power system is terrible. It's just like, if only
Yeah.
one of them is good, then what's the point of creating the other ones? like,
Mm,
I'm talking about like the Shinigami Bankais, because
yeah.
like, if you're Quincy, you use your power, that's it, you're destroying the world. You're putting carbon dioxide in the air, the planet's gonna be destroyed because you used your weapon. Bankai's,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, hollows can. These guys are balancing the thing, and it's like, okay, if you're doing this, then what's the point of Quincy's? Like, why you have them here?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was always like, I don't know, confused about specifically why like the Quincy's continued to do what they were doing. I mean, I guess like if you want to bring up the fact that Yaw is a bad guy or whatever, but even then, I don't know how he ties into all of it.
Yeah,
It's just like, I don't know. I feel like if they would have all just been like, I don't know, had the same kind of powers, I guess. I think it would have been more interesting if they were like maybe all soul reapers or whatever. It's just that obviously the soul reapers would have a problem with non-soul reapers doing their job for them,
yeah,
so I think that would have been cool. But like you said, you know, it's like, you know, they know that, you know, the way the Quincy's kill them is ruining the balance, and yet they still do it. So
yeah. It's like I was like, Kubo, don't make it a like, don't make it a environmental thing. Make it like a political thing, because then that makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, they have the same powers, but they just don't want them to do their jobs. Don't make it like, oh, this guy's ruining the air because he's driving a car.
yeah, nah, it's pretty crazy. And then like, I'm sure there's something like that as well for Naruto, where
Naruto, like, like they got three different forms. Like they got the I only know taijutsu. That's the non chakra form.
yeah,
Uh, no, I guess normal jutsu. I guess,
yeah, taijutsu, ninjutsu, and
and
then
then genjutsu. I think it's
yeah,
called.
genjutsu, yeah.
And yeah, honestly, those are like, like I'll give them credit. They all kind of like they're not like Bleach where it's like, oh, one of them secretly helping the environment. They all do something pretty bad. They
Yeah.
do.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. If I'm not mistaken, like like the whole thing, the whole reason like Chaka first came is because like there was obviously Kaguya came and then she had kids and then
Yeah.
like all the kids started having chakra or whatever, and then the main thing is that they were spreading chakra for like people to do good, and I think it was called ninshu or whatever. But then people started having wars and stuff and using their chakra for bad. So
That
yeah.
that now that makes sense. I will say, like, if you give humans a gun, they're gonna start a war.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I guess it does kind of it's kind of the same in Bleach's case too, because like it's kind of like, you know, they're using their power irresponsibly. But I don't know. It really depends on how you how you view it. But
I know we're on this tangent, but you know we're still thinking of Akira. Akira, you know, he did great with chi. Like the only issue I have is why is their upper chi.
yeah, yeah, no that. But even in that, you know, I feel like everybody can
Yeah,
achieve it at least.
it's not awakening devil fruits, black swords, taijutsu, whatever Quincy's have. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
it,
Because when you think, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
it's just like it's very simple. It's chi and then stronger chi.
Yeah, because when you think about it, it's like, you know, for a lot of the Z characters, pretty simple. You know, the more chi you have, and like the better you control it, the stronger it is. When you think of One Piece, for example, and you look at the Straw Hats, you see Luffy. He has like hockey, and he has all three forms of hockey, and then he has his devil fruit. So he has that. Then
Yeah,
you have Zoro, who doesn't have a devil fruit, but then he has Conquerors, and then he has what is it? He has like his swords or whatever,
and he
and then
has
you have
also
Sanji.
he will
Yeah,
wait, they both Zoro also has all three. So
yeah, true. And then you have like Sanji who doesn't have like Conquerors, but he has his Germa genetics, so it technically puts him on par with the others.
yeah.
And it's just like it gets
Yeah.
really
And then he
confusing,
could
but
turn his foot on fire for some reason.
yeah, yeah, no,
It's like honestly, like we get it, dude. You want to create more powers, but honestly, just stick with hockey. Like, stick with hockey, devil fruits. Like you did well with those. Don't add it. Don't make it complicated.
yeah, because I think that's one thing that a lot of a lot of the different just creators do. They create a lot of different power systems, and it just ends up like being this cluster of just all this different stuff that works in different ways. That's one thing I will say about Hunter x Hunter. Like even though its Nen system is complicated, it is something that everybody can use. So
Yeah,
that's one thing about it. But it is still pretty
it's
complicated.
pretty. Yeah, I agree.
Like apparently like you can create any ability you want as long as you have experience. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like even though JoJo's isn't part of it, and I'm sorry I'm bringing it up here, but it's very simple. Stands are very simple. How to get them. There's many different ways to get them, but they're very simple. They have a special ability. Just learn how to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to say much since obviously I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, no, stands do seem pretty simple. But yeah, no, I feel like it has to be a balance between like what Hunter x Hunter does, which is making it simple, like just or not simple, I guess. What Hunter x Hunter does, which is like making one power system basically, which is just Nen, and a balance of like making it simple, because like
Yeah.
Nen is there's only one obviously power system in Hunter x Hunter, which is Nen, but it's overcomplicated. But then you have other simple power systems in other anime, but there's multiple of them. Dragon Ball does like this good combination where it's just one power system and it's simple. It's not overcomplicated and there's not multiple of them.
And I know a lot of people are gonna talk about like what about the Super Saiyans? Yeah, but really, there are people who can beat Super Saiyan. So even though Vegeta could probably go Super Saiyan 3, I don't know how far he can go. I haven't watched the series.
Yeah.
He can still die. He can still get beaten. There's people who are stronger than him. Like just because you're a Super Saiyan doesn't mean you're automatically gonna win.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I know the new like the successor of Toyotaro, I think his name is. He's gonna continue the Dragon Ball series, but I don't think in like any of the mainline series, I guess you could say. I can't see Goku ever like becoming as strong as like the Grand Priest or like Xeno or anything like that because like he does have limits. He's mortal, and that's something that we're always like reminded of at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many godly powers he gets and stuff like that, or how well he masters Ultra Instinct. He's just a human at the end of the day, and
Well, he's a Saiyan, not a human.
well, yeah, not well. He's immortal. I mean,
Yeah, he's
not
immortal.
yeah. He's immortal at the end of the day, and like yeah, he wants to get stronger and everything like that. But obviously, mortals have their limits, and if you're immortal or an angel or a god of destruction, and you live thousands of years. Obviously, you can reach your potential. Like much more. It's more likely that you'll reach your potential, but. With Goku, obviously he's still he's a Saiyan, yeah, but he's still immortal and he's gonna age and he's gonna pass someday. But he will be really strong at the end of it all, and I think that's something that I don't know. It's a really good aspect of Dragon Ball because it's not just like oh yeah, Goku's the strongest of all time. Like there is variations of him that you could probably say that for, because he's just like incredibly strong with those different variations of himself, but. I think for the most part, I like the fact that like Dragon Ball tries to stay grounded, even though Goku's goal is to like fight all these strong people. He'll still like I don't know. At the end of the day, he still like has his limits as immortal and everything.
Yeah. I mean, he has his limits, but how many times he's this guy breaking the limits? Like, like he started off with just one story house. Now he's as tall as a skyscraper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I can definitely see him or picture him being as like by the end of his life, I can picture him easily being stronger than all like or at least as strong as the gods of destructions. I don't know about the angels and everything, but yeah, no, he's definitely gonna be up there.
Yeah. It's better. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, also Akira Toriyama didn't just make Dragon Ball. Like, I haven't played many of the games or any of the games he's had, but for those who do know video games and who do know JRPGs, the Final Fantasy series is definitely the one thing we know in the West. You know, that's what started the JRPG craze back all the way in the 90s. But if you were in Japan, then you would know another series that Akira Toriyama did the art for, which was Dragon Quest. And that really blew up like
Yeah.
crazy. Well, that's what Dragon Quest is in Japan. We have Final Fantasy, they have Dragon Quest,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and so
And
oh yeah, you can
yeah,
go.
you know, I was just gonna say a fun fact about that. I think that's something that Togashi also likes playing. He just likes sitting down playing Dragon Quest. I don't know if that's the reason he hasn't been writing the chapters or anything for Hunter x Hunter, but that's just a fun fact. There's like pictures of him sitting like in a messed up room just playing Dragon Quest and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But you know, it shows an incredible part of his art is like because the thing about like Akira Toriyama is that no matter what he does, you know, whether it be manga, anime, or like a video game, you know, oh, that's his art. Like that's like it sticks out like
Yeah.
it sticks out like a sore thumb. Like when I saw like I didn't know what Chrono Trigger was, but the moment I saw the art, I was like, oh, that's the guy who made Dragon Ball. That's his art.
Hmm.
And then also like with Dragon Quest, I was like, oh yeah, this guy looks like Goku or like even like Trunks and stuff. And
Yeah.
it shows like he definitely is a legend, not just anime, but also in like video games and stuff.
Yeah. True.
Especially,
Yeah, no, because like I've seen other people, I know other people who've done that before. I know the creator of Fairy Tale has worked on different art for different games. And I know same thing for the creator of Bleach. I think it was like Sakura Wars or something like that.
yeah,
But I didn't know they actually made the art until like I don't know, I read the the box or something, or like read the credits, and I was like, oh yeah, their names on there. I'm like, oh wow, they actually do this because like their art style isn't like it. I don't want to say it's not consistent because
it's unique.
obviously,
It's not very unique. Like they're good
yeah,
artists, but it would probably take you a while before you realize, oh yeah, this guy did create Bleach.
yeah. I wouldn't say it's not unique in those cases, but just that like for like the different things they work on, like they kind of like stray off of what the style that they already have. So like
Yeah,
with the Soccer Wars or whatever, the character designs that he worked on for that don't look like Bleach characters at all. And then like same thing for the other game. I think that Mashima worked on, the creator of Fairy Tail. Like those didn't look like Fairy Tail characters at all. So it's just like you look at those, you don't realize. But Toriyama stays pretty consistent. So it doesn't matter whether you're talking about his other works or games that he's worked on and stuff like that. Like watching Doctor Slump or whatever, I know that Toriyama made it. And like you said, Chrono Trigger and Dragon Quest and everything. Like just seeing the characters, it even that is consistent with how he like with his art style and Dragon Ball and stuff like that. It's pretty easy to recognize like like if he's worked on something pretty much.
yeah, yeah. His art is like you could tell. You could say whatever you like. Art is an objective thing. Like you could say his art was not your favorite and all that stuff, but the thing that's really makes him a legend is that you can literally pick up a game that no one has ever talked about or a manga that no one has ever seen or heard, and you can look at it and be like, "That's Akira Toriyama." There's no doubt that is Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't even have a comparison for it, but like if you see something by Toriyama, then you know it's by Toriyama. There's like basically no way of mistaking it because his art style is very distinct. His the way he structures the faces and eyes, like even when you look at artists who don't really even have like their own series but just draw art, you can tell if they've been inspired by Dragon Ball and just the way that they might structure the face or stuff like that. Because I know they have Dragon Ball characters have really strong eyes and then like really like sharp faces and stuff like that. Like I feel like you'd be able to tell if like an artist was inspired by Toriyama or put some kind of like basically some variation of what he does into their own art style or incorporated it into their own. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely. Um, I guess now a bit we can probably talk about more about Dragon Ball as a whole, because even though I haven't started, not gonna lie, if you're in the anime community, Dragon Ball is like the one thing you know a lot about, even if you've never watched it, because everyone talks about it. Like they talk about it more than Bleach. They talk about definitely more than One Piece. They talk about more than any like anime, even new coming anime. Dragon Ball is definitely still up there as people like who still talk about it. You know, everyone knows what a Super Saiyan is. Everyone knows maybe not what Kaioken is, but you know they know that like some people definitely know that like Kaioken and Gear 2 are the same and stuff. And like and another thing I gotta say I do like about like one thing about Dragon Ball is that unlike most series where the people stay the same age, Goku's grown. Like he's a grandfather. Let's think of it that way. He's a grandfather now.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty crazy to see like how far it's come because I know a lot of series do that nowadays where they have time skips, but once again, that's another thing that Dragon Ball was like one of the first to do where basically it was pretty rare to see like a character growing up and see their development and stuff like that because like I never really got to experience it since like I started Z before I started the original Dragon Ball just because it was airing on TV like back in 2011 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was, but like like when I started Dragon Ball, like I could imagine like if I had started that first, like my shock to see like Goku coming back after like what was it like 2 years and him being way taller and stuff like that and like because I know like a lot of series like to just keep their main character the same age and not really grow them just because there's that sense of familiarity and I don't know, just charm to them being young or whatever.
Yeah.
But I like how Dragon Ball shows that you can make your character grow older and it will still be loved. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of series, Pokemon specifically, is like, yeah, they keep like Ash the same age the whole time, and it's just like, it wouldn't suffer from making him a little older. It would be actually pretty cool to see him become like a Pokemon gym leader at Pokemon champion and see him
or him having a family because there's a lot of shippers out there.
Yeah, exactly. Don't even get me started on like because obviously every different Pokemon adaptation has like a different like female lead or whatever. Like he's been shipped with so many of them now at this point, but it's like it's not a bad thing if he were to grow up. And I think Dragon Ball really does show that like you can make your main character grow and it's not a negative thing. I think Naruto kind of took from that with its time skip with him going from being like 13 to 15 and then by the end of the series he was 16 and now he's an adult, he's a Hokage. And then same thing, not kind of sort of with Ichigo. He didn't really grow.
He had one time skip and then the ending.
Yeah, the ending mostly, but I wouldn't really consider it the ending because nothing happened at the end. I mean, they're having the new arc, but that was after like 12 years, so I don't think that really counts.
We got one chapter, and then after that, Kubo's like, that's enough.
Yeah, and then Luffy hasn't even he hasn't even that like
Luffy's still 21. Let's look at it this way. Luffy's been 21 since like 2011.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was 17 at the beginning, but like nah, he's still pretty much the exact same.
He's 19. Wow, he's not even 20.
Yeah, nah, he's 19. I think he's 19 and then Nami's like 18 and then I think Zoro and Sanji are like 20, 21 or something, but yeah, nah, even Luffy like like Luffy is the like least like probably the least one to include in that because like he hasn't even grown up or like changed in any significant way.
Let's see. I'm gonna see Luffy's age. I got my phone out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's 19.
One Piece. So okay, yeah. So pre-time skip he was 17. Post-time skip he was 19.
Yeah, nah. I mean, Like didn't even like change his appearance, grow a beard or anything. Just
Yeah, let's see.
same old Luffy.
Oh, Chopper's only 17. Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah, no, their age. I think I memorized their ages pretty well. But yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's not even just Goku. Also, it's like his friends as well. They all mature. Like it's because it's so surreal to see like because obviously that's one thing I did say I didn't experience like Goku growing up seeing his time skip, but I did see Gohan, and that was pretty crazy to me. And it's surreal to think now that like Gohan like has his own kid. So I can only imagine the people who grew up with Goku.
Yeah. I do have to say, like, no anime I know has ever done that. Where they just, like, continue, but, instead of just keeping everyone the same age, they just, like, you know what? Let Gohan have a wife. Goku has one.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have him have one? And then Vegeta got a wife.
Yeah.
And then he had a kid. and, and then
Yeah.
Goku had another kid.
Yep. And then they don't make it Dragon Ball Next Generations and focus it on like Goten or his kids or anything. They keep it all on Goku, and I really like that because that's something a lot of series try to do now. Is just make their series focus on like the kid of the main character.
Well, I don't think I don't think the premise of Boruto was bad. It's just it wasn't executed properly. If you
Yeah.
because like JoJo's has different characters. Again, I'm bringing it up. I'm sorry, but it's done pretty well, and Dragon Ball did pretty well keeping it Goku, but it wouldn't hurt like if the next person to carry on his line was Gohan. I guess they missed that boat a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was saying like if they so wanted to say Goku's not going to become like the next character, I don't think it would hurt because unlike other series, Dragon Ball shows that time does flow. Like they're not stuck on one day or 1 month. Everything happens in like a long time. Like
Yeah.
we've seen Gohan's life. Let's put it that way. We've seen Gohan's whole life in Dragon Ball.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I kind of like it because it's kind of unique. Because, like I said, there is, I feel like a couple series that do that where JoJo's one of them, and I think Chainsaw Man is taking the same route where, like, the different parts of their series are focused on different people or whatever. I feel like there's a couple series like that probably. But I feel like Dragon Ball is the first one where, like, we've gotten like this much like I don't know time that's passed and the character is still Goku, and the reason does make sense because like if you think about it, the whole reason Goku is the main character and the one that's doing all the protecting and the fighting is because he's the one that likes to fight the most. That's basically what he likes to do for a living. But when you look at Gohan, and I'm not so sure about Goten, but they have their own aspirations. Like since they're kind of half human, it's not just fighting all the time for them. I think that is a good reason for like Goku to stay as the main character in the main position because it makes it seem like he's up for the challenge, he's up for the fights that come his way or whatever. So he'll be the one that's constantly getting stronger, and even if his son doesn't do it, he'll always be there to support him if he needs it.
Yeah, yeah. It is something that like it is something good that when you see a series actually see like more than like where you see years go by, because like it's not a bad thing, but the one gripe I have with My Hero is that there is no time skip. All this happens in like 1 year, because to me it doesn't even seem realistic, honestly. And there's definitely a lot of missed opportunities with just having this be in 1 year. And like even though like Goku is the strongest, it didn't take him 1 year to beat Super Saiyan. It took him a long time to even get like the higher stuff like Kaioken. Like even though he's a prodigy, to learn to actually master that stuff. It took him years to get there, and it's good to see that in Dragon. Good to see that in his journey.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think I do think like it's pretty interesting, to see like his growth, like after so long, like, and even another thing that there's to consider that's pretty funny actually is that like a lot of the series that just are airing now, and just whether you're talking anime or manga, they're all focused on like younger people, and I feel like Goku being like an old man at this point, as crazy as it is to say, like is pretty interesting because like you have all these series where they're high schoolers, teenagers, and stuff like that. Even if you have one that's like Fairy Tale or One Piece where they're like in their 20s or closer to their 20s, like
Yeah.
being like actual adults or whatever, like that's still pretty young. So I think it's pretty interesting seeing Goku's like 40 or 50 something right now still be the main character, still be the strongest, still be like really focused on, like I don't think I've seen a series like that where maybe Spy X Family. But even then, I don't think Lloyd's as old as Goku.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't seen series where like the main character is just like that old and he's still as relevant as he is.
Yeah. I think also what makes it interesting is that when people actually started Dragon Ball, they were probably Goku's age, 8, 9, 10, or maybe
Hmm.
like even like he is 12. He is 12 in Dragon Ball. I do know that. So,
Yeah.
they were his age, and eventually over time, like when he was a teenager, they were a teenager when he was beating these people up, and then like when he has a kid, some of them are getting into college or even starting their own family. So like when he evolved, everyone else evolved too, and I think that's what makes it like why he's so relevant is because people who grew up with him are kind of experiencing the exact same life situations that it's like before, like a kid, you want to fight, you want to do all these crazy stuff. But then, when you get married, you can't just fight people and stuff. You need to get a job, you need to support your family. Just
Yeah.
like Goku, he can't just continuously fight. He needs to support his family. He needs to get a job. He needs to get, stuff that are actually important and things. So I think it is a pretty amazing thing that like people who grew up with Dragon Ball as a kid grew up with Goku. they they were Goku in their
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it's also pretty interesting how that you can apply that to, like I said, like the other things where like even if you didn't watch Dragon Ball first, you might have watched Z first. If you were a kid while Gohan was a kid, you grow up and you start to relate to him, and then by extension, you relate to Goku as well, and then now Gohan has his own kid. Who knows? Maybe like there are people watching Dragon Ball right now, Dragon Ball Super, and they'll see her grow up, and it's really interesting to see. Like I like how Dragon Ball takes this approach of just like time going on, and they're not really stuck in a current point in time, because even in the manga, like the time is still going on. It's crazy to think that like I think Gohan's like 28 at this point or something like
Yeah.
that, and his daughter like knows how to walk now, and I literally remember like watching Dragon Ball Super and she was just a baby like a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It,
no.
it's insane. Like honestly, if they were gonna switch main characters, it probably would be when Goku dies of old age.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. 'Cause that's the one time you can't bring them back with the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because or then again, Master Roshi drank from the fountain of youth, so maybe Goku won't die.
True, true. I mean, I think it's a character thing though, because like I can't imagine Goku would do that. I feel like Roshi just did it because Roshi is a pretty a pretty selfish guy, but
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he will, but we'll see. Or maybe like because I know like in the manga, like I don't really want to spoil anything, but it kind of seems like they're taking the route of like Goku being like having more like angelic powers and Vegeta having like more destroyer powers. It'd be interesting to see them take a route of like Vegeta becoming like a god of destruction, Goku being his angel or something like that.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Like if you read the manga or whatever, I'm not gonna spoil, but you know, Vegeta has his own like his own powers and stuff like that, and Goku does. It's pretty cool, but that'd be nice to see, especially if you want to take the route of them like basically becoming immortal and never dying and stuff like that.
That would be Vegeta's nightmare. Holy crap.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh.
The guy he can't surpass is now his only companion forever.
Exactly. But at the same time, like I said, I also like as much as that would be cool to see. I don't know if they will take that route because becoming immortal, like obviously they love fighting as Saiyans, but they've also grown to appreciate other things like their family. I don't think I don't know if they'd be able to like take just outliving the people that they love and stuff like that, but I don't know. It really could go either way. It's interesting to think how Dragon Ball will come to end.
Yeah, yeah. Or if it will actually ever end. It could go like a comic book series and just like talk about different stuff. Like, because I think when it comes to like Dragon Ball, yes, you won't have the same like thing that Akira Toriyama had put into it, but and then again, his world is as big as like the superhero world. You know, you have multiverses, and you have things that like we probably still won't know that that Akira wanted to touch on, or like it could go on. It could literally, hypothetically speaking, it can go on forever, is what I'm saying. Because multiverses, they will never end. The superhero, I know DC did an event called I forgot it was the Crisis, the Infinite Crisis event, and like its name, it talked about like every multiverse ever, infinitely. So it's like, wow, that's insane. So Goku, the Dragon Ball might go that route someday.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy to think. Yeah. I feel like they've established enough that they definitely could do it because, like you said, Dragon Ball just has so much lore and everything to it that I feel like if they really wanted to, they could probably just keep going on forever and keep expanding upon it, creating even more lore and stuff. But I think that like regardless of like how it ends, it's just I don't know, it's just a great story. Like I think that that's one like a sign of a good story is that if you have so much like just so much to it in terms of world building and everything you've established that people can just create these like stories basically infinitely and just I know people have even created their own fan stories and their own theories and stuff about how like the world and how the world is and stuff and other things that they've explored and it's just interesting to see. But I definitely agree. It'd be interesting to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we've been going on for an hour, and honestly, there's a lot we could say, but I hope we got the main message is that like Akira Toriyama was a legend. He will be missed, but he will never be forgotten. No matter whoever comes along, he will be up there with the godfather of manga. I don't know his name. Doesn't mean I've forgotten it. Doesn't mean he's forgotten. He was an inspiration for Akira Toriyama. So, he's definitely not being forgotten. But since we're ending it here, Tens, any final words to end this tribute?
Final words, I guess. Well, thank you, Toriyama, obviously, for everything. Like, I feel like everything that like he's done really just did change the world. Like I said, his stories transcended being just stories, being just anime and manga or whatever, and genuinely inspired real people out there. It doesn't matter if they were actually into anime or not. Like, you'll see soccer players, athletes, like musicians, just anything, and that you'll see people just saying how they're inspired by Dragon Ball, inspired by Goku, and the characters that Toriyama has created. So, yeah, last words, thank you for everything that you've created, I guess.
Yeah. And my final words is again, thank you, Akira Toriyama. As a Christian, I will say this: you are definitely in a better place. You are up there. You can write as much manga as you want without any bodily restrictions. You're free to continue forever and ever. And hopefully, the next generation could actually live up to the standards you have put, because they are pretty high standards, and it would be very hard for someone to actually come close to what you gave us. So thank you. And if you really enjoyed this, like, share, and subscribe, and also comment down your thoughts on like some interesting stuff you liked about Akira Toriyama, because he's a good guy, and we will definitely not have another person like him for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.